Parents' Rights in Education was conceived in 2009 and became a tax-deductible nonprofit in 2011. In May of 2019, PRE held its first soapbox event, America's Cultural Crisis. Should we stay or should we go? Author of Get Out Now was the keynote speaker. Mary Hassan's speech is featured on the PRE website. We decided to have another soapbox, May 2nd of the following year, 2020, featuring Walt Heyer, author of Trans Life Survivors. 7 weeks beforehand, Oregon Governor Kate Brown declared a state of emergency to control the spread of the China virus. During the following year, in response to repeated emergency shutdown restrictions, PRE rescheduled the event 4 times and changed the event venue 3. It was renamed the Northwest Safe Schools Summit, and more speakers were invited to present. The result was a day-long dive into the complex issues plaguing K-12 public schools. Because of the unrest and militant violent protests in Portland, Oregon, it was decided to move the location from the Portland airport to a venue in the suburbs. The venue owner was adamant PRE not advertise the exact location until 24 hours in advance, so as to avoid possible negative attention caused by detractors and protesters. We are thrilled to share these videos from the first Northwest Safe Schools Summit in the hopes you will be enlightened and empowered to take action. Please watch them in order, as there is a natural progression you won't want to miss. Tina Griffin went from baling hay and milking cows on a dairy farm in Wisconsin to working as an actress in Hollywood. At the age of 20, she drove 2,000 miles west and enrolled at California State University, Los Angeles, to pursue a film and TV broadcasting degree and start her acting career. When she isn't traveling and speaking, you will find her busy writing radio spots, blogging, cooking, camping, traveling, homeschooling her 4 munchkins, or having a romantic date night with her best friend, husband, Luke.
I don't know if, there we go, the mic is on. How you guys doing today? All right, we're going to shake it up a little bit for the last hour. Does that sound good to you guys? All right, let's make it happen. I just have to say, out of the 20 years of speaking, traveling the country, and trying to raise some ruckus, like what you said in the intro, that was good. I'm going to add that little piece. I was blown away. Suzanne, Jack / John, you got a lot of AKA names here I got to learn through the weekend. This was probably one of the top events I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot. I love conferences. I love conferences where I go and I get meat. I don't care if the person's a well-known person or not. Just give me some meat that I can chew on and then do something with once I'm out of here. So thank you for going through with this and doing such a fantastic job. This has to be absolutely national. You have to take this baby on the road. So with that said, I'm just going to cut right to the chase. I got about 300 slides to do in about an hour. Just kidding, it's not that much, but close. I grew up on a farm in Wisconsin, milked cows, picked rocks, baled hay, and then at the age of 16 gave my life to the Lord, and I told my dad, I want to go. Yes, that was amazing. And I told the Lord that day that I went up to the front of the church and gave my life to the Lord, I said, God, Jesus, I am willing to take a bullet for the cause. And I meant it. And now 20 years later, after doing this show for the last 20 years, I might be dying for the cause. But I'd rather be doing that than watching Netflix. So stay on the front of the battle lines. At the age of 16, right around that time, I told my dad I'm heading out west. And my mom was like, hey, go for it. My dad's like, what are you doing? Like west as in what? Shawano, which was like another town 10 minutes over. I said, no, like Hollywood. I'm driving the 2,200 miles as soon as I'm done with my first 2 years of University of Wisconsin, Green Bay. I'm going to Cal State Los Angeles. I want to get my film and television broadcasting degree, and then I want to help bring celebrities to know the Lord, because if we can get Eminem and Marshall Mathers, a.k.a. Marshall Mathers, and Britney Spears, this is back then in my day, if we can get them to know who the Lord is, we've got a couple of million. Half the globe probably would think twice, is Jesus alive and real and well and the truth? And that's the problem, is today it's not just indoctrination by education in the school systems, which I am going to touch upon today. It's indoctrination through education of pop culture. And if kids are watching or listening to or playing violent video games for 70 hours a week and they're in class for 40, wow. Between those two, if we can win the battle with those two and wake up parents and help educate parents and guide them in the right path and protect them so they know how to protect their children, we have a win-win combination. If we don't buy, they can't supply. If we pull our kids out of public school or get the right people in to working on the school boards, then they will have no one to sell their sex propaganda to. Bill Gates can talk about wearing a mask and getting a shot, and yet his kid's never been vaccinated and he's never worn a mask. Hypocrites, that's what they are. And we have to win back our culture and our country and get God back in the game here. And he's always been there. He just wants us to be used by him every single day. And I'd rather die for the cause than talk about the problems and not do anything with them or pretend the problems don't exist. So it's time to rock and roll. Robert Pittman, founder and chairman of MTV and iHeartRadio creator, says we're dealing with a culture of teenage babies that can watch TV, do their homework, and listen to music all at the same time. The strongest appeal you can make is emotional. If you can get their emotions going, make them forget their logic, you've got them. At MTV, we don't shoot for the 14-year-olds. We own them. And I show that slide in school assemblies, and kids are mad right off the bat. I'm like, oh, yeah, another 10 minutes, you'll see exactly where I'm going at with this. Kids are sending me dirt. I have like hundreds of thousands of little undercover FBI agents over the last 2 decades of doing this. The slides you're seeing came from children and teens that are keeping us up to date, saying, share this dirt with the masses. We want to help save our own classmates. So once we get them on the right side, it's all good to go. Now, let's just go back about 40 years. Top disciplinary problems reported in high school teachers in 1940. Talking out of turn, chewing gum in class, running in the hall, cutting in line, littering, dress code violations, throwing spit wads. Can we go back there again, please? Okay, in 1990, after we began marketing violence, rape, and murder to our kids, the problems are drug and alcohol abuse, pregnancy, suicide, rape, robbery, murder, cutting, depression, and eating disorders. More freedom equals actually bondage, not freedom. And that's a problem going on in our schools today. It's a problem going on with kids at home when they're ingesting this kind of content. 75% of children 8 years and younger have access to a smartphone or tablet. 71% of kids 8 to 18 have a TV in their bedroom from Common Sense Media. What's our first primary question? What kind of content are they putting in their little heads? Mom, 5 more minutes, please. This is back then. I remember this. My mom had a dinner bell, and she would ring it when it's time for dinner. Good luck getting us in. It took them about 15, 20 minutes, and the only reason why I started going in is because my brothers ate my food. On the bottom, like literally I had to fight for it. On the bottom, this is a picture now where kids are wanting to play video games. 1 more hour. I have so many parents the last how many years speaking that would come up to me and say, Tina, and I'm like, well, just get them off the tech stuff. A lot of times they sneak and do it late at night and have a tech gadgets in the room, and the parents think they're sleeping, which I have a crafty way to slash that. But the parents are telling me their kids are so exhausted going on the school bus, not doing good, getting good grades in school, or even participating in this somewhat decent education, the 20% of it, is because they've been up all night on Snapchat, TikTok, and everywhere else playing video games online. We got to de-tech them. 7 factors determining beliefs are TV, music, movies, internet, books, family, public policy, or law. 6 out of the 7 are entertainment-based, which is why I'm very passionate about deprogramming with the brainwashing that's been done. Now, what's going on? This is just the last couple of weeks, you guys. I used to say, well, this happened in the last 2 years. Now I'm saying this happened in the last 2 weeks. The Gay BCs came out. Did you guys hear about this book? Literally a couple of weeks ago, Gay BCs came out for 4 or 5-year-old children. I do a weekly episode. I am honored to be a part of Dr. Duke's program. Him and I dissect one top trending news story of the week. And it's not just a problem. We focus on the solution. What can we do? What kind of positive content can we do instead? How do we talk to our kids to get them off the junk? How do we educate our children if they are in public school to share with their classmates how to get away from this content? But we have a great time with Freedom Project Media. Dr. Seuss, books are burned. Man, there's a lot of stuff being burned in today's big tech censorship world. Right before Holocaust happened, they were burning books and paraphernalia. Big tech censorship is today's red flag right before the Holocaust happened. Let me tell you something, the Holocaust is all set up to happen in America. Whole nother assembly, different time. But if we just would connect the dots on what's going on, if people knew in America what was set up for our demise, they would not be in their homes sheltering, having nail parties and purse parties or watching Super Bowl events. Okay, anyway. So Dr. Seuss has been erased and canceled, but yet we have stores being sued if they have separate sections for girls and boys now in stores, and we have 3 guys listed on a birth certificate for a child today. It is trendy and hip and cool on Hollywood standards to have gender neutral as for the celebrity children. What does that teach everybody else? That's the thing that they want to also emulate. And I'm just shocked at the number of parents in my generation that are even for this. I'm like, what? Is there something in the water? Wait, you know what? There probably is. Is there something in the food? Absolutely. Bill Gates has his hand on that too. Now he's buying up all of our land. Oh, man. It's not just one person, but we have to be praying for these people. Christ died for all, but we have to definitely be exposing them and not supporting them. JoJo Siwa is a huge star for tweens, teens, and toddlers. And she says, I don't want people to watch my videos or buy my merchandise if they aren't going to support not only me, but the LGBTQ community. She's embracing this lifestyle, just came out as a lesbian, and everybody is talking about it and now also experimenting with it, it seems like. And then even on Facebook, one day Facebook says we have 51 gender options. Oh, today we have 72. And one of them's even gender questioning. So even Facebook's confused about the options it's offering for children. It's ridiculous. What does this cause? An identity crisis. A lot of people have been talking about it today. It's exactly what it is. Satan knows if he can nail a child when they're young and make them think they're either not a boy or a girl, but there's 70 different choices here, everything else is going to crumble by the wayside if the foundation is bad. And that's what his tactic is, because he knows there is little time left. Reading Revelation, the tribulation period has been set. That stage is set up to happen. There's nothing else, I believe, that has to happen still before Christ comes back. And that's why I believe Satan is in an all-out attack on every single facet in our culture today. So we want to run the race and just remember, if you're getting sued or a bullet on your head or a target on your head, like you had said, Joshua, earlier, I've been saying that for 20 years. If we are not being persecuted or sued in some manner, or being threatened to be sued or called a name, we're not being bold enough for our faith. And there are some days where I'm like, hang on a second. No one's tried to kill me in the last week. I must not be doing something right. I literally have to sit and think. It's not as though I'm wanting it to happen, but it's just a sign of our times. It's actually kind of exciting in some way. It's kind of weird, but I'll talk about that later. Malcolm in the Middle, Days of Our Lives, Lizzie McGuire, MacGyver. I had a crush on him when I was 15. It's the one show my parents let me watch, but I got to work on all these shows when I was in Hollywood. But MacGyver was a decent show back then. The bad guys went down, handcuffed, shot, usually not killed, so that's good. But he would put some gum and a paper clip together and create a bomb and save 30 people. That was quality entertainment. If you did have the hour a week that we were allowed, we had to play piano for 20 hours. My parents were a little bit hard on us, but hey, I turned out okay. Austin Powers, Spy Who Shagged Me, Rockstar with Jennifer Aniston and Mark Wahlberg, Lizzie McGuire, Darman Gregg, had a chance to work on all those. But the aha moment for me was when I was about 24 years old. I was working on Little Black Book, and I had a little scene in there with Brittany Murphy, the late Brittany Murphy. She passed away, I think, in 2004. And that was not what the media said it was, along with her husband, who died 3 months later, mysteriously, in the same manner, because she was exposing pedophiles like Corey Haim and many other people in Hollywood. And her and I worked on Little Black Book. We're in a hallway. The director said, hey, ladies, got to stop talking. We're actually shooting a movie here. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Well, we forgot, and we were in deep discussion. The aha moment for me was when she told me this following phrase that I used ever since. Tina, I don't agree with what I'm doing, but I feel like I have to do this in order to get ahead in the industry. And my question to her was, right before she answered that, what was the pressure you felt when you did the drug scenes, the sex scenes with Marshall Mathers, Eminem, in the movie 8 Mile? weeks ago. And she would proceed to tell me that she felt guilty going back home at night, knowing full well what she just endorsed and promoted with the sex, drugs, everything else in that movie is the exact opposite of what she actually wanted young people to actually engage in. But told me I was so pressured that if I wouldn't do it, I'd be fired, never work in the industry again. So it went from me sharing for a couple of years, doing this Hollywood Exposed program all over the country, to talk to kids saying, hey, run from the celebrities. Now I started saying, pray for the celebrities. Because a lot of them did not want to do what they were signed up and forced to do. So then I pretty much owned this scripture. Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. And I tell you what, I can tell we are all warriors in this room. That's why you're here today. There is nothing greater than serving the Lord with the mission he's called you to live and willing to die for the cause for it. It's just... It has been the most enjoyable, fun-filled, trial-filled. I had Wiccans doing seances over me on some school assemblies a year and a half ago, right before COVID hit, up in Michigan. They had some kind of coven. They got my last school assembly in 19 years. 20 years now, next month is how long I've been doing this. And 19 years in, I've never been canceled from a school assembly, and they called and threatened a Christian principal. He canceled the assembly. 2 fights broke out that day. It's a total demonic attack. And the Lord, when I woke up that morning, said, you're not going to be speaking on a second school today. You got the first one. The second one you don't have. Trust me, you'll be back. I said, sounds good. If I don't want to get shot at or killed, if it's not my time to go. But that was wild to find out later that witches were doing a coven, seance, witchcraft, sorcery, whatever they were doing to stop my presentation from going forward. But I can't wait to go back there and invite the witches to come hear it. It's going to be awesome. Okay, so why do I do what I do? I got 4 little munchkins, 12 and under. I got to update that bio. The kids are getting older. But the oldest kid, Jake, is 12, then Levi, 10, Eden, 9, Stella, 7. They come with me to a lot of different events. The first music festival I did with my oldest son, Jake, when he was like 7 or 8 at the time, was Kingdom Bound in New York. I said, hey, little buddy, I don't even know where Dad was. That's pretty bad. He was like running the booth by himself for 10 minutes. And I go to speak. I said, hey, do your best on, getting that word out there. Let's get those CDs out of here and see what you can do. Give them a high five. I go speak, come back. They're all gone. I'm like, are you serious? You got rid of them all? Yeah, I was just passing them out left and right. Okay. They were $10 a piece, but hey, if the people needed them. So then he started telling people, burn the message and get it out there. But anyway, I've had a lot of fun with the kids over the years because they become so passionate about it. They know about Beyonce being demon-possessed. And that she has a demonic entity in her called Sasha Fierce. My kids know that because they pray for celebrities. My kids know that because I don't show them some graphic pictures, but I want them to go talk to their friends across the street in our little neighborhood because their friends are listening to these people. So it's a matter of educating them within reason so they're not living in a bubble and they go chaotic when they're 18. So a couple things I'm going to talk about today. Am I talking too fast? Okay, good. Cool. That's awesome. Okay, that's a first. I want to be talking about what harmful behaviors is today's pop culture and media promoting, what top resources give solid reviews on today's entertainment, what are some positive entertainment choices available, and how can I stay updated on pop culture and technology news because it's constantly changing. I updated a bunch of info just in the last 2 days. There's stuff constantly changing. And that's why parents feel overwhelmed, and they think, why even tackle the problem? I can never keep up. But we have a neat way that we've created to help parents stay in the know and have the power back in their hands, not Hollywood, on what their kids are learning about and being indoctrinated by. Because I want them to find out before Hollywood pumps out this junk. So don't worry about taking notes. If you text the word guide to the number 55444, text guide to 55444. You're going to get a sweet parent media guide filled with hundreds of positive entertainment options so you can do a pop culture purge, get the junk out, and get the good stuff in. And you can tell your neighbors about it. You can tell whoever you want with that info. So like a lot of speakers today, and I'm so excited to see that they're talking about it, I'm going to cruise through this little section, but it is a communist agenda in America. The more I learn about it, the more angry I get, but the more knowledgeable we become, and then we know if we know who our enemy is, we know how to actually be on the offense, and like you guys have been saying, not the defense. So TikTok, on July 6, 2020, Laura Ingraham asked Secretary of State Mike Pompeo if families should use TikTok. His response was clear and concise: only if you want your personal information in the hands of the Chinese Communist Party. They are tracking everything down. And then they want to have us wear a mask, not to get off topic, wear a mask coming from China, and who knows what's sprayed on it. I've been saying that. I'm not wearing that fake mask that rats were crawling all over it. Like, you look up, Google search how those masks were made. You will not want it on your face. And they're passing out freebie around the country? No, not taking it. They're trying to kill us in 5 different ways at the same time. Operation Mockingbird. This exists. It's a large-scale program the CIA began in the U.S. during the Cold War. Main agenda is to manipulate news media for propaganda purposes, and it funded student and cultural organizations and magazines as front organizations. Operation Mockingbird. And then the communist takeover of America. Rebecca, dear friend Rebecca, spoke right before us here. She talked about the goals. There's 45 declared goals that came out in 1963. I'm just going to nail out a couple of them here. Goal 20, infiltrate the press, get control of book review assignments, editorial writing, policy-making positions, gain control of key positions in radio, TV, motion pictures. We've got break down cultural standards of morality by promoting pornography, obscenity in books, magazines, motion pictures, radio, TV, present homosexuality and promiscuity as normal, natural, healthy. You can see all of these have happened because they want to trash our foundation of our country, our Christian morals and values, our families as a God-designed structure. Discredit the family as an institution. Right there it is. Encourage promiscuity and easy divorce. Wow, they've done that. From what I've done research on, 44 of the 45 goals I've read were conquered. The last one is to take over the police force. Regardless, point is, they pretty much have almost literally taken over our country. And we are waking up in the 11th hour and 59th minute. But at least we're waking up, and always remember, you're going to see some wild stuff in the next 50 minutes, like you've seen all day today. God wins in the end, and he wants us to see the garbage so we know how to fight back and what to do about it. Lack of knowledge is what's killing our country right now. Big tech censorship doesn't help. 20 years ago, people thought I was nuts for the stuff that I was warning people. I was saying, if we don't get our kids off these violent video games 20 years ago and have them stop watching midriff Britney Spears, we're going to have brick throwers instead of freedom fighters. 20 years later, we have exactly what I was saying for 20 years. Now I'm frustrated because now that people are awake, big tech is taking our stuff down when people are finally awake and wanting to know more information. So get crafty. No one's taking away our voices. Keep the mask off. The 6 feet apart is to all have us not rally together and form the army that God wants us to form. So if people have a problem with our army, put the mask on, get a shot, and stay in that corner. That's it. You got 1 month to get this show on the road, Suzanne. 1 month. Okay? I don't know if she heard me. Fill her in. Okay, download the Counterculture Mom app. That is a weapon of mass destruction for the good guys that we haven't put together in the last year and a half. Phenomenal. God's like, do this now. I'm like, no wonder I don't get any sleep. You give me these ideas at 2 a.m. Save America is a section of our app that gets people involved with how to fight back. We have a newsletter that goes out every single week. If you text the word America to the number 33777, America to 33777, you'll get a lot of our info there. You get a weekly newsletter, but also through our app, you can sign up for all of this. It's been phenomenal to join forces and get this content out there. We don't just share our content. People send us stuff all the time. Can you send us out to a newsletter list? Absolutely. It takes us an hour. We pump it out, and we network and get your stuff out there. So let's just nail Hollywood hypocrisy right at the root. What's going on? Eminem, Marshall Mathers, been out there for 20, 25 years. Very talented guy. Got a great gift from God, just using it right now for Satan. He says, being a dad is definitely living a double life. I'm a firm believer in freedom of speech. But once I hit them gates where I live, that's when I'm dad. Taking kids to school, picking them up, teaching them rules, teaching them wrong from right best I can. It's like juggling. Yeah, it is juggling because he has been rewriting his lyrics for his own daughter, Haley, to listen to for 2 decades. There was an article that came out 2 years ago where now that Haley, I think, is like 20, 21 years old, guy came to pick her up on a date, said, oh my gosh, Marshall Mathers, I grew up listening to your music. He's like, you're not dating my daughter. Really? What about the rest of America's kids? Most of them in prison, dead, 6 feet under, STDs. He says in his lyrics, I stab myself with a steel spike while I blow my brains out just to see what it feels like. His lyrics talk about the effects that his music has on the fans that he so-called loves. Crazy. Never knew it affect this kid. Get him to slit his wrist. Here's a short little shindig of what he said backstage at a concert.
I have the right to remain violent. Anything I say can and will be used against you.
In these bags, which I'll explain a little bit later, I have everything on my table. I mark down and put in these bags. You can take it, and that's the dirt to get started on. But there's a DVD in there that is phenomenal, 3 hours long. Anybody over the age of 12 or 13, have a big movie watching party. The people that come to your house, these teens, will be changed radically forever when they watch that 3-hour DVD. It is celebrities admitting that what they're doing is wrong, and they shelter their kids. Bible scripture is included. Here's the fallacy, here's the truth. It's an eye-opener. The first original DVD that I watched when I first moved to Hollywood is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing today, because the guy that edited that and put that together and produced it, Joe Schimmel, was working across the hall from me when I was working on a project for film school. And I kept hearing Britney Spears for like a 10-minute time frame, and I'm like, whatever he's doing, that's what I want to do forever. And I went over there, saw his dirt, I'm like, that's it, I'm sold. How do I get started? That will change young people's lives. They'll be talking about that all day long when they go back to school. Because young people hate being lied to. If they know they're being lied to, they can't live with the fact that they're now living a lie. All we have to do is show them the truth. Give them the dirt. Give them the evidence. Here's Madonna and son Rocco on the Ellen Show. This drove me crazy. I don't even think you can find this clip anymore. The second I saw this, I found it on the internet, saved it on my laptop along with 3,000 other videos, and I have it on my YouTube channel, Counterculture Mom. But check out the hypocritical Hollywood parenting tactics, and yet her parenting, we want to grab. We just don't want to grab her music and lyrics and dress code.
12.
So excited.
That's what 12
really
is
excited.
like.
Is your mother strict? Is she a good mother?
Yeah, she's a good mother. But yeah.
But she's what?
She's a good mother, yes. That's all I have to say. She's very strict, but
That's very
in a good
cool.
way.
You're on tour with your mother. She can't be that strict. What about when she flashes herself and stuff? How do you feel about that?
I actually don't see that.
He's underneath the stage busy doing things.
That's best.
Well, the parents in the audience seem to miss the fact that their kids were watching her do her sexual moves for 15, 20 years on her tour, mocking Jesus with a crown of thorns on her head, hanging upside down from a cross on stage, and yet her own children did not see her do any of that while she was making millions of dollars. Lucifer has been out for a while. I don't know if they took the last season down or not, but it's been for the last couple of years. Notice the devil horns behind his head. That's all product placement. They purposely designed these posters to go along with the message. And Lucifer is looked upon as a good guy. And people are upset when they watch the episode. Young people come up to me, how could God be so evil and kick Lucifer out of heaven? That is a twisted worldview you got going on. Netflix Sex Education. I watched the first 2 to 3 minutes of the very first episode, season 1, and I wanted to literally punch my fist through a wall. There was the most pornographic sex scene between 2 teens that I've ever seen in any movie ever doing research, and that's what's nuts is I have to research this, watch it, and still sleep at night. But someone has to ingest some of it in order to make sure that other parents know why they shouldn't watch it and why they should shelter their kids. But for some odd reason, God's got this thing where he just, watch it, get out of your brain, watch it, get out of your brain. But after 20 years of this one made me so mad because of the graphic sexual content in the very first 30 seconds of season 1, episode 1. Grabs them right in. Then what do they do on episode 13? The whole entire episode, Missy, this will make your blood boil, was geared towards Planned Parenthood. Chick becomes pregnant, she's taking Planned Parenthood, fix a little problem, just a blob of fetal tissue. Well, if you do the lookup and Google fetus tissue, I'm surprised that fetus is even available on Google still. It is literally meaning little one. Means little one. So it is what it is. That has to be a t-shirt idea. Can you write something down for me, Joshua? Literally, write that down. Can someone bring me a glass of water, too? Sorry. So that sex education is wild. This I blasted out. It's still on TV. Drives me crazy. Netflix. A show called Big Mouth is so graphic. I literally just added the bubbles, the circles over this. It's penises on a basketball court. They leave nothing to the imagination. Like, it's so graphic. And then this one right here, it's absolutely disgusting. This is supposedly cartoons for adults. Wrong answer. Wrong answer. We have 13, 14-year-old children watching these episodes. It's crazy. Very graphic. Here's Riverdale season 3. Check out the trailer. Who sent this over to me? A teenager that heard me at an assembly. So can you believe it? That's on primetime TV and millions of children are watching this. I don't add slides for shock value. That is not what I do. I am grabbing content from the most watched programs by our kids today. Kids. So once they're done learning sex ed at school, they come back home and they watch 8 more hours of this. That's what we've got. Baby Sacrifice now in Netflix. We've got Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix. Here's what's nuts. I worked on the original Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That's me in the upper left-hand corner. I didn't like working at a show that had the word witch in a title, but it was a comedy 20 years ago. And that's how Satan, the enemy, works. I have parents coming up to me, oh, that's so cool, that new show, that Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It's like the remake from when I was a kid. Did you watch 2 minutes of it? Nothing like what it was 20 years ago. They have seances, Satanism, witchcraft. And then when I went to Michigan with the witches claiming I was lying because a kid from the assembly went home saying, oh, I watched this program, and told his mom, who happened to be one of the witches that wanted me out of the town, that I was saying that Sabrina the Teenage Witch, that they hired real witches on set. I got a couple of emails from the witches. Oh, you're just lying. You're trying to scare our kid. No, really? I'll find the dirt. And I literally prayed that I would find it again because I had it. And I should have showed it at the school. Here is the proof that they hire real witches. I knew this information, but now we have the dirt, and I will forever save this video. Here is, first of all, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, just so you can see the trailer. And then I'm going to show you where it was admitted by the lead actress that real witches tell these actors how to do the seances and witchcraft and sorcery properly. So it's literally carried out via screen and entering in millions of homes around this country.
Are you willing to forsake the path of light and follow the path of night? It's very It's very
I can't do this.
You must.
That gives me the chills, and that was a 30-second trailer. Here is Kiernan on Jimmy Kimmel Live, where she admits that real witches are hired on set.
Well, we actually have a few writers on our show, a few people who are part of our crew who are practicing Wiccans. So we do. So it's nice. You feel like you're making the right moves and doing the right things. You feel like
advise you on the Wiccan stuff.
You feel like you have some advisory, which is really nice.
Really nice. And then what happens as a result? This was one of tons of news, credible news stories coming into my phone, into my email after I do these different events around the country where parents are like, this just happened at my kid's school. Kids watch the entertainment. And then what happens as a result? We have girls arrested for conspiring to kill classmates. 10 classmates were on their hit list, and they were about to carry out the first murder in Florida a couple years ago when the assistant principal caught them just in time, and the evidence was all via text message of what they plan on doing to carry it out. When the cops interviewed them, they listed off TV programs. Chilling Adventures of Sabrina was one of them, on where they got the idea. That's crazy. That's crazy. Witches outnumber Presbyterians in the U.S., Wicca, paganism, all growing astronomically. Of course they are. In schools, Scholastic is of the devil. I've been blowing open Scholastic and trying to expose that for the last 10 years. And now a lot of parents are waking up. The schools get a kickback from Scholastic. The more books they sell and the cute little flyers. When I was a kid, 90% of the books were decent. Some, dating when you're 10, we don't need to know those kind of books. But 90% of it was decent. Kitty posters, puppy posters, and a couple books when I was 10 years old going home showing my mom the Scholastic flyer. No longer the case. The books that I expose on my blog, I've been writing for about 20 years. Counterculturemom.com is the website. You can search tons of different articles, whatever topic you want to have it all broken down, easy to find. But there is books on murder, threesomes, beheadings, skinning women alive. Those are the type of books that are in the Scholastic recommended reading. Schools want to get kicked back and get paid from Scholastic. They have these kids take the flyers home. The children go ahead and get the books. They have competitions on which class can sell the most books. And then as a kickback, they get paid and they put these books in their library for all children to have access to. Wow. Look that up. Fight Scholastic. I was at a Christian school up at the same Wiccan situation in Michigan, and a Christian school had Scholastic books that they were selling on a table in the hallway. I'm like, did you open up the front cover? Did you read the title? Never be hit in school again. They take it from the bully stance. Someone just mentioned earlier today, it's exactly what they do as a form of inclusion and diversity and anti-bullying. Let's have Satan clubs in schools. Second I caught wind of that and saw it happening, I started warning the masses again about 5 years ago. Now a lot of parents are telling me they absolutely have them inside the schools. The problem is if the school has any other club on campus, they're allowed to have a Satan club. Well, then I'm like, that's fine. Then what happens as a result? The Satanic Temple, Lucian Graves, however you say his name, he has me on his hit list. He's been bugging me for a couple of years. I just keep his death threats. I take screenshots from his posse because they take stuff off of my Facebook. This is how you guys all work. It's why I love you guys. I then take the threats that they put on their Facebook, take screenshots, put it back on mine after they blasted me and said, pray for these people. Then they get even more upset. I'm like, whatever. So take the stuff that they're slamming you about, put it back on your page and say pray for them because they hate, it bugs them that you're not slandering them or going after them as a result, but you're showing love. Because I can tell you that a good chance that these people have had major problems in their own families in the past. It doesn't justify their behavior. But man, if we can stop the nasty cycle and wrap our arms around them, can you imagine what would happen if a Satanic Temple worship leader all of a sudden became a Christian? He won't shut up. He'd be willing to die for the cause. That's what we need, is turning these people around because they obviously feel like they're willing to die for the cause now on the side of death. Let's get those people. Let's get 100 people to pray and form a circle around their house and start praying, bringing food baskets over, inviting them to church. I'm not kidding. I'm really not kidding. It makes me want to seriously track down Lucian Graves and say, let's become friends. I probably would wear a bulletproof vest going over there the first time. But what they're doing now is satanic, Satan clubs in schools. Kids are going in. I have parents blowing up my phone, emailing me, what are we going to do? Oh my gosh, it's in there. The principals are now deciding to strip the Christian clubs out of schools and not have any clubs. I'm like, oh, no. My thought is you can't do that. They're going to still get their club in. Just put the Christian club meeting at the exact same time across the hall and you know exactly who to target first. Seriously. I had M&M as a hypocrite t-shirts that I was selling for years. It would help youth groups triple, quadruple in size. Youth pastors would call me saying, you came here 3 weeks ago. We have so many kids come, we have to have 2 services or extend it or meet more than 1 time a week. I said, what's going on? He goes, well, the M&M as a hypocrite shirts that you brought in, the kids are wearing to school. It's starting conversations. Now kids are coming in from the school wanting to hear more about God. Let's just start t-shirt companies in here. There are so many ideas of how to make the conversation get started. I have a t-shirt. No one can take this idea, and I already told, I think, Joshua about it. The gates of hell shall not prevail in Matthew. When COVID hit and I thought Chinese troops were going to be in my front yard back in last March, I'm like, last puzzle piece coming in, 27 years of elites and the Illuminati. Here we go. We're going down, Lord. Rapture right now. Before they come, I see the troops. Then I was okay after a month, but my husband's like, oh my gosh, I'm praying for the rapture, but for a different reason you're praying for it. Because I was going nuts. I couldn't sleep. I'm like, here we go. Bill, I know exactly what's going on with COVID and the Great Reset and the cashless society. Here we go, people. And so then, boom, I read Revelation again. The gates of hell shall not prevail. And I'm like, Bill Gates, Pizzagate, Watergate. Oh my gosh. The gates of hell shall not prevail. That's a t-shirt. So with Bill Gates' face on it. And like the... so bad. I'm so going to get that made. But what I'm saying is, stay up at night, jot down some ideas tonight. You guys have so many ideas. Let's collaborate and get some shirts out there. They want to do billboards. We'll do walking billboards. Take that. Have your pastors get in the mix because they're leading a lot of people astray. Or they're just too afraid because they're owned by their 501c3s. Forget the 501c3 if you have to in order to say what God's wanting you to say, and those doors will be blowing open on a Sunday because you're saying what everybody wants to hear, the truth. Anyway, okay, well, I'll show you guys that video.
Hello everybody, my name is Baphomet. I'm taking a break from my busy schedule appearing in pentagrams to give you the chance to help me and my friends make our satanic chick track. Chick tracks, if you don't know, are little religious comic books that preacher types give to kids on Halloween to teach them about Jesus. And then get their houses egged. But our 22-page, 3x5-inch satanic tract, Constitutional Rights, is funny and creative, and it tells a story about how helpful Satanists protect religious freedom in America that everyone will actually want to read. Help us out, and in exchange, you'll get some tracks of your own. And also, you'll get some cool bonuses, like original artwork made just for our backers. If we get enough, then we can get started on our next tract, which is all about bodily autonomy and abortion rights. All right! I realize that people might be nervous about making a bargain with someone like me, but just click the button to contribute. And I swear to someone, you'll be eternally happy that you did.
So what I would do, just watching that right now, track people like that down, pray for them, but literally find out where they're going to be and go witness. Take a care package. Tell them you're praying for them. Invite them to an event. Bring them here. Say, even if you play dumb. I don't even know where these ideas are coming in for right now. It's probably a lack of sleep. Literally, this is how I would, if I could go to people like this, which I have. Sometimes I would play dumb, as in, I'm going to call her Barb. Hey, Barb, there's this event coming up. I'm kind of interested in what you're doing, but don't tell them why you're interested in it. I'm interested in what you're kind of doing, but I'm kind of stuck because some of my friends are saying this instead. Can you come with me to this event and tell me what they're doing wrong or what's not making sense? And then tell me more about what you do right after. Play dumb, bring them to something like this, and watch God move. Take it from that aspect. If we would say, hey, Barb, you're way off. You don't know what's going on. You've been lied to. Oh, my gosh, you got to come to this event. This will totally get you on the right path. You're nuts. That's never going to get them in. You play dumb, invite them and say, I just want more info on what you're doing. I want more info on what they're doing. Tell me what they're doing wrong. I tell you they will come in because you're going to see that they're thinking you think that they're an expert. And then they're going to come in and be like, hang on a second. And at least you did your job. You got them here. And then let God move. But that's kind of like how I do stuff when I roll because it seems to like be less, but it took me 20 years to get there. You don't want to know how I first started. That seems to be working with literally atheists Facebook messaging us questions because we don't take it as you're going to burn in hell. We take it as we were once here, we are no longer. Here's some things we're thinking about. What do you think after watching this video? And then that opens the door to them thinking, well, what do I think about it? It's less offensive or roadblock-ish. Okay, so tons of positive movies out there and TV shows. Shark Tank, just to go over one of them, they all teach great stuff. Sportsmanship, leadership. The thing is, a lot of the good stuff's getting off the air, so grab the good stuff while you can. We have Little House on the Prairie. I have all the seasons. My kids watch it. They're crying in some of the episodes. Sometimes I'm tearing up. But Shark Tank, my husband has to sit about 6 feet away from me because we will watch these 10-year-olds come up with these awesome ideas and get like $6 million to start their company. And I'm like, why didn't we think of that? So get your kids to watch fun, creative shows like this because it makes their brain roll. And why can't they start a company at 12, 13 years old? My two oldest boys, 10 and 12 years old, are selling hot chocolate in the winter for like 5 months. And they're out selling lemonade in the summer months. And some neighborhood, and I'm just little business tactics. I don't know if I was sharing this here or somewhere else this last week when I was talking to somebody. But like, so they got cut off at the pass because some neighborhood kids started copying their idea. And they set up their base about a half a mile before our kids stand. I'm like, you know what? Cut them off at the pass, go down on this street, make a left, and set up yours right at the front of the subdivision. They came home with a couple $100 that day. I'm like, see, it just, and then the other group went to my boys and said, can we partner together and create a business all together? There you go. That's what I'm talking about. And then someone told me, you better have told them there was a 60-40 split. I'm like, that's funny. But the point is, that's what our kids should be doing. Outside, learning how to talk to people in person, setting the iPad aside, not having music constantly blasting in their head, even if it's positive stuff. We have to detect or our brains will fry out. Literally, our eyesight, our back is all hunched from texting all day. And there's how many studies now that are saying that kids' spines are screwed up and their neck is trashed and they're overweight because they're on tech stuff 24/7. All right, America's Got Talent, 95% of that show is great. There's a couple of them where I'm like, oh, heads down, okay, fast forward, okay, now you're good. But this show has helped me so much over the years with great, talented young kids where I'm like, telling my son Jake, who's 12, he's like, do I have to practice a half an hour a day guitar? And so then I can show, well, yeah, the 7-year-old kid, look at him. He's on America's Got Talent, winning scholarship money, and he started playing when he was 3. You're a slacker. Go play for another full hour. But it helps them realize, hey, I can do something to make a difference as a child. Little House on the Prairie is great. We talk about MacGyver, Muppet Show, Adventures in Odyssey. All these are on our app, Counterculture Mom app, because there's a ton of info, and they're in that guide I told you about. Answers in Genesis, excellent content. We took them to see the Ark. The Ark was the size of the real Ark. Did anyone go see the Ark yet, Ken Ham? Did you bawl when you first got there? You're not going to admit that. I did. I was like crying because it was very overwhelming that what they set up was just so fantastic. It brings the real life of Scripture to real life today. So take your kids on trips like that. That is the stuff they're going to remember forever. Justice just came out with Justin Bieber. Pray for this guy. We have a ton of Christian pastors and magazines and online sources praising Justin Bieber for his recent release of Freedom, which is a Christian worship album. I'm like, did you guys listen to it for 5 seconds? There's about 800 swear words in the first 2 lyrics. It is loaded, and that's his worship album, and Christian places are advocating to listen to it. I'm like, oh my gosh, you gotta check it out ahead of time. So pray for Justin Bieber. I don't know if he's saved or not. He says he is. I was hoping getting married into somewhat Christian family, however that is going, that he would get in the straight and narrow, but he is leading a lot of people astray with his lyrics. I'll tell you that much. Ariana Grande, God is a Woman came out about 2 years ago. Most followed female Instagram user, and that's why I have to nail her today with letting you know the mindset of our young women. She has 206 million followers. She did God is a Woman live on MTV Music Video Awards a couple years ago, and it was complete blasphemy of the Lord at the Last Supper. It was very gross, and then I took a screenshot and paused it. When Moses was reaching down to man and the Michelangelo painting, she in her music video was playing the role of God reaching down to another woman. Right there in the music video. Planned Parenthood, Missy, you and I were talking about this last night at dinner. Planned Parenthood partners with music stars for new pro-abortion campaign. Ariana Grande and many of her cohorts in Hollywood donate millions of dollars a year to Planned Parenthood. Now get a load of this. You saw the nastiness of what Missy said. That's why I was having a heart attack. I couldn't even hardly sit here when you were talking. I'm like, oh my gosh, the dirt, the evidence. Yes. Not just on that angle, education-wise, now we have education through pop culture. These celebrities promote to 9-year-old girls, millions every year at the concerts, boys, parents dropping them off, have fun, as they're dressed like they're working the Vegas Strip. And then they come in and hear Ariana Grande and watch her do her sexual moves and promote sex and graphic stuff I can't even talk about without offending somebody here in her lyrics. And then that is promoting sexual activity to these girls at the concert, how they dress, how they act, how they get attention, having sex, and then promoting Planned Parenthood and using these young girls as income, their bodies as income for Planned Parenthood. I say that in school assemblies. I'm like, pop culture, Hollywood, and our education system is using your bodies as income. You stop having sex, they'll go under, literally. And guess what? You will be able to have children someday with the person you're married to, opposite sex, the way God designed, without guilt, shame, fear, scarring, and everything else that goes with it. As long as you know your identity in the Lord and that it's not based on a constantly shifting pop culture and lying, hypocritical celebrities. Pray for Ariana Grande, but do not support her by going to her concerts, downloading her music, buying her paraphernalia, and having sex. Because she's getting a kickback from Planned Parenthood, and she is then giving money from these young girls. 2 different ways. Have sex, you go to Planned Parenthood, they make bank. You come to the concerts, Planned Parenthood's making bank. Crazy. Billie Eilish wins Record of the Year for Everything I Wanted at the 2021 Grammy Awards about a month ago. It's very important to know who our kids are following and just watching their every move. And she is a very large influencer in pop culture. I just want to show you the first couple of seconds of this video, All Good Girls Go to Hell, okay? Check this out, and then I'll explain the little doll picture. The doll came out a couple of weeks ago on store shelves. For little children to go buy the doll, and then what are they going to want to do? Check out our music videos. This doll is a mini figure of who she plays, which is Lucifer, in this music video. Lucifer got kicked out of heaven.
Lucifer is lonely, standing there, killing time, can't commit to anything but a crime. Leaders on vacation and open.
All that info is on my app just for time purposes. The point is, it creates young people to think that Lucifer is the victim and that he's the good guy. It's over and over promoted in TV shows, in movies, in magazines, and music videos. This is one of the top watched, millions and millions of views from young people that I think ever came out there. I think it surpassed Miley Cyrus' Wrecking Ball music video, which got like 19 million hits in less than 24 hours. This is crazy, absolutely crazy. And so just to give you a glimpse of our alerts, it's short for busy parents that want to handle, that want to win their home for the Lord, that want to protect their kids. But literally it came out of hearing this complaint for a decade. I get done speaking, parents come up to me, they're crying, they're putting their arms around my neck. Sometimes they're shaking me uncontrollably. I'm like, hang on a second, I'm not the bad guy. But they're like shaking me because they're so distraught or emotionally charged up because they think it's over and it's too late. I'm like, it is absolutely not over. And they would tell me, you know, what can I do about it? How can I protect my kids? So the app, a year and a half ago, I'm with my husband, actually 2 years ago now, and I'm like, there has got to be a way where we can warn parents all the time, not just, they hear me speak once and that's it. And even the website I can't keep up with. And that was when I was a team of one person. And we both said at the same time, we need an app. So we built an app. And because of COVID, praise the Lord, silver lining, COVID backfired on the elites. Oh, yeah. It did. It backfired big time, at least with our team. I went from one person to 4 people to now God gave us 25 people. We're a nonprofit. The government will never tell me what I can't say because I'm exposing the government. So if they want to say you're going to no longer have a nonprofit, well, then we'll figure it out. It's not going to stop me from anything. They should know that by now. But the team of 25, 24 people now, which I just hired Josh. He doesn't know it yet. I'm not kidding you. Joshua, you're on the team. Is he taking notes from me? All right, you're down. Good. Notice I didn't ask you, would you like to be on the team? I said, you're on it. That's really funny. But, because I know he has an angle that I know he's going to be perfect at. Our team of 15, just on the app, constantly keep it updated. It's for busy parents. Within 3 minutes, they know the problem, they know the solution, and they know what's going on. If they want more info, we have links in the article in case their kid is somehow attached to Billie Eilish. And then, you know, on certain alerts, we will have talking points on how the parents can talk to their kids and how to give the kids the dirt so they can become their own FBI agents and know for themselves how to be educated and make wise entertainment decisions. So it's not just the parents saying, you do this or else. It is, what do you think we should do about this? They do a little bit of research, come back, boom. And it's working, and that's why I love it. Celebrities release the creepiest dolls. I just talked about it every week. This happened to be our episode about a month and a half ago. Cardi B releases a limited edition doll where it basically tells 5, 6, 7-year-old girls, here's how you dress like a stripper. Really? This is probably one of my favorite slides I just added to the show. Check out Cardi B, Hollywood Hypocrisy, when she's doing a live Instagram video for her millions of fans promoting this kind of message, and watch what happens. It's pretty funny. Okay, so it's very short. Did you guys see what happened? It was kind of like slow. She was dancing provocatively. There's a longer clip, but I just showed you the clip you need to see. Dancing provocatively in a tight little bodysuit deal, like it was bad, for like a 2-minute deal. Her 2-year-old daughter, Culture, comes around the corner, sees her doing that. She's like, no, 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 no. And then goes, stops doing what she's doing. I'm like, that is huge. Little Nas X. Are you guys familiar with this guy coming on the scene about a month ago doing something absolutely demonic? Okay, I heard a couple yeses in here. He performed at the Kids' Choice Awards and is followed by millions of children. 33 million kids saw him perform for the Roblox concert. So here we go. It's like a series gone bad after the third season in. They hook you as a fan, and now by series 3, they got graphic sex, violence, beheadings, and all the rest. It's the same thing for the music industry. They grab these kids doing some positive songs, and then by their 3rd or 4th year in, if it's even that long now, we have all these kids seeing what he did in his Montero music video about 3 weeks ago, which has 5.4 million views on just one channel alone that I was looking up last night. But he literally is giving Satan a lap dance in the Garden of Eden. It's probably the most graphic music video and slanderous thing towards the Lord that I've ever seen in my 20 years of doing pop culture research. It'll blow your mind. Then, and this is all launched on Passover weekend. Really? Like that's a coincidence. Okay? Then he came out with a special limited edition Nike shoe that Nike is now suing him over, where human blood, 1 drop of blood, is in each of the soles of these demonic shoes with the verse Luke 10:18 on the side. What does 10:18 say? And I saw Satan fall from heaven like lightning. Really? 1,018 pairs of shoes. 666 pairs of shoes is what he had for sale, and they cost $1,018 after Luke 10:18. This is crazy. Little Nas X pole dance to hell challenge. So if that wasn't enough, check out the short little video. Shortly after this came out, he then on his TikTok account challenged children to send in a pole dancing routine for a chance to win $10,000. And he got a lot in. And he then took the videos and put them online for millions of pedophiles and other children to see. Why these people are locked up, put in prison, and thrown a Bible, I don't understand. I don't understand. Except for, in the end times, good will be looked upon as evil, and evil good, we are there. We're in the 11th hour.
Starting a new challenge. Post a video of you pole dancing to Montero Call Me By Your Name using the hashtag pole dance to hell for a chance to win $10,000.
It's crazy how much he got into. I can't believe it, how many submissions. The rock sign is a pyramid to show that few rule the many, and it's all over the place. We have it with Rihanna concerts, Drake, Ellen, Jay-Z, Tom Cruise, and we can even go back to Hitler. It is crazy what is going on with pop culture. This sign, the 666 sign, is a sign of Pledge of Allegiance to Satan. When it's given over the eye, it represents the eye of Lucifer. And you might think, well, there's probably 5 or 6 celebrities. No, it's literally thousands. And it's all over the place. It's on magazine covers. It's jewelry today. I go in a little girl's jewelry store, and I see them in earrings. I see the all-seeing eye, the Illuminati symbol, New World Order, on necklaces. It's on T-shirts. It's all over the place. Album covers. There's a ton of positive music. I tell kids this. I've been saying it for 2 decades. Garbage in is garbage out. Just try for a week. Ditch your negative, demonic, murderous, slanderous, or just negative lyrics, low self-esteem type lyrics. Get rid of it. Get rid of the nasty movies and the nasty video games for 1 week and see if you don't physically feel better. I can't tell you how many teens actually took the 3 seconds to let me know, new person, thank you. One kid heard me talk about my abstinence stance, no sex before marriage, about 15 years ago at a school assembly in northern Upper Michigan. Upper Michigan. And he sent me kind of a nasty email about 3 days later saying, I can't believe you came in and told your personal story. I wanted to have sex. Now I feel like I can't have it. I'm like, well, that's good. It's working. And you shouldn't have told me all that. It was too personal. I just said, trust me, you'll be glad if you waited. And so I wasn't even married by then, but I just was glad I waited at that point. Waited until I was 29 years old and 51 weeks, but who's counting? Got married. My husband threw a slab, the top part of that cake, you're supposed to enjoy and eat with your family and have a little dancing after you walked down the aisle. He's like, we're eating it later. Threw it on a plate, pushed me in a car with the cake, and took off to the hotel because I made him wait. He also wanted to wait, but it was just really funny. I'm like, can I just at least say goodbye to my family and friends? Everybody was laughing because my friend made a big billboard. It said finally on it, but whatever. It was like literally what I was bummed out about is I would have turned 30 a week later. I'm like, can we just wait a week? Because I wanted to write a book that said 30-year-old virgin. But I think now I'm going to still write it and put 30-year-old virgin ... almost. That'll draw them in. Then we can say, well, I was still. It's just I got married a week early. Regardless, I said this story. The kid was mad that I shared it. About 8 or 9 years later, I get this random email. And I just started crying at my computer. I'm like, this is what's worth it. This is what makes your jobs worth it. You might not hear on this side of heaven from a bunch of people, but I can guarantee you if you stand out of the crowd and you're doing what's right and continue on that path, you have no idea how your message is making a difference to one person that could literally change thousands of people's lives. Literally. Your one conversation can go out to thousands. This kid emails me and said, you spoke at my school. I said, I remember this dude. You spoke at my school about a decade ago. I waited to have sex ever since. My future wife is so proud that I waited, was very happy that I heard your message, and we're waiting till our wedding night. I get married in a couple weeks. I'm like, that is awesome. So keep spreading the message God gave you. People are listening, especially in this day and age. Positive music is all over the place, you guys. Chance the Rapper goes on hiatus to study the Word of God. Christ died for celebrities. He goes on his Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and now is doing Bible studies live, the Word of God, and his fans are watching, thousands. Pray for these celebrities, you guys. They need prayer. Check out azlyrics.com. It's a great resource. It's on my free parent media guide. Video games you got to watch out for. There's this one. South Park just came out with one. It has decapitations, lap dances, privates exposed, drawings showing children having sex in the video game. So you want to be alert of that. We have Friday the 13th video game, came out a couple summers ago, and the problem is these video game reviewers are early 20s, raised on this content, and they're telling their young fans of teenagers and tweens the best video games for the summer. They go out and buy it, and it's very murderous scenes. I mean, right here, you're using a curtain rod to kill your parent. It's insane. And then they get points for it. Bank robberies, kidnappings, swearing, all this stuff, nasty music, and all of these video games. And as a gamer, you can decide how you have sex, what angle, you even hear it. They don't leave out anything to the imagination, even with the sounds that are made. And you have the point of view shot as the little kid, 8, 9 years old, having sex with a prostitute, another person, same sex in the video game, other gamers who are on this system. It's insane. Protect your prefrontal cortex from porn. The impulse control center that enables us to think ahead, consider consequences, manage urges is called the prefrontal cortex. That part of the brain is under construction until mid-20s. And that's why we have all these kids, after the third image of porn, they become an addict. Porn industry knows that. Here is Steven Spielberg, Oscar-winning director, and now I'm finding out, possibly engaged in pedophilia. There are games that I won't have on premises. I don't want my kids saying, how come dad is playing that and we can't? Some games are so over-the-top violent that I'm even afraid of them. These celebrities protect their kids, bottom line. Video games that are positive, there's a ton, and they're all in my free parent media guide by texting the word guide to 55444. Image, look at how thin they are. They're telling you it's all about what you need to buy. This bottom picture is when all the ads were ripped out of the magazine. And then the rest of the content that's in there, those 3 pages that are left, are having photoshopped makeover people where people don't see that they're beautiful enough with who they are because of the false images constantly out there. And they have articles about sex with no consequences and literally step-by-step guide, if you remember this from Teen Vogue, that came out step-by-step by how to have the proper anal sex. Really. Magazines that are positive, that won't land our girls up with an STD or pregnant at 12. And guys regretting having sex before marriage. There's a lot. Focus on the Family has some. They have parenting magazines. Brio is excellent. I've written a couple articles on Brio. I really like the magazine. Clubhouse Junior, I have free magazines for everybody in the bags. They look like this at the table over there. I just threw one in for everybody. Check out the Pocket magazine. That just came out by Upper Room. Great for young girls. All of this info is on our app. I'm telling you, the app is where it's at. All of these Answers magazine, Kids Answers, all these books are on our app. There's a ton of great content for our kids. Every teen has to read the book, Do Hard Things. I read it a decade ago when I was 30, and I'm like, where has this book been? And it was written by teens. Excellent book. Your kids will have their lives changed by what's on the pages. Tim Tebow just came out with a great family book for kids. A couple quick social media dangers. OnlyFans, you want to run from it. There are so many apps that we alarm parents to and positive apps that we push and promote. But here's an example of OnlyFans. It came out before COVID, but during COVID, people were a lot more online than normal for schooling purposes and just because they were home and not doing sports at school or whatever. But Bad Baby, the second she turned 18, she's a big rapper, a lot of millions of fans. She opened up her OnlyFans page. And in less than 24 hours, she'd made millions of dollars when people pay per view of her pornography. At 18 years old, the porn industry is still ticked off because OnlyFans is out there. It's taking their business away from them. And this is what I have to point out right here. In less than 6 hours, this 18-year-old celebrity made what is that? Yeah, $1,030,703 in less than 6 hours after she posted her pornography video of herself. And we wonder why young kids think it's in hip and cool to dress like this with barely any clothes on. They can make tons of bank. Why would they want to go get a job for $12 an hour? Also, I want to let you guys know, please spread the word. It's on our Instagram. It's on our app. TikTok video is going viral right now that tomorrow's the 24th or is today? Great. Well, today's announced as National Rape Day, so be careful going home. And it's all over TikTok. The cops are now on TikTok for the last week saying, be careful. There's these people that were starting this one viral video, and people were saying they were threatening young girls that they were going to literally rape them. Positive at the end of all this, we have to be aware, knowledge is power. What can we do in our schools? People were talking about it today. Equal Access Act was passed by Congress, became law on August 11, 1984. It's still a law. It allows on-campus Christian clubs. Yay, every school in America has to have one, period. One of the coolest organizations I've learned about and talked to the organizer is called First Priority. It's an app, download it. It's amazing. First Priority of America. Look it up, download it. It's very easy to navigate and know how to get one started at your school. If the school has any other club, which it will, that's primarily not truth-based, you have the right to have a Christian club on campus. Connect with me, counterculturemom.com. You definitely want to get the app. You definitely want to get the guide. Download the word guide by texting the word guide to 55444, loaded with great content, and here's how the app works in under a minute. So you download the Counterculture Mom app from Google Play, from iTunes. Pray that it never goes down. It's the only spot where I'm not being censored. Twitter was hacked. Facebook, I'm constantly in jail. Right now, I'm shadow banned on Facebook. It's a mess. But our app will hopefully always be there till the rapture happens. Download it and then get premium. There's pop culture alerts in there. There's featured educators. You'll be blown away. All of these different things in our app help create counterculture warriors in the home. So what we did is our 15, 20 app alert writers have specific things that they're educated on. We just don't grab a mom that's got an extra 5 minutes to spare. It's knowledge, experience, they've lived through something. I ask them a series of questions, and it's not, can you put a sentence at the end of a sentence? I will ask them about today's culture. I will ask them very wild questions, and if they pass the test and God's saying they're on the team. And I pay, because people can volunteer, but I want to let them know they're appreciated. Every dime that comes in from my speaking events goes to our nonprofit, and that pays our $9,000 a month expenses to have our staff of 23, 24 people, and any kind of tech stuff on top of that. Every time we have a need, God supplies it, every time it's happened. And right now we have a matching donor, so I'm like, it's just been amazing. So the team of people strategically know what day they have to come out with their certain alerts, what topics it is, and we have a very creative back-end way of knowing what comes out, what's going to be released from Hollywood before it's even released. 80% of our alerts are coming out before most of the mainstream media even talks about it, if they ever bring it up, because we want the parents to have this knowledge before their kids see it. So the alerts come out. We have the team of 23, 24 people here, now 25 because of Joshua. Meet the Counterculture Mom team. We're out there. We do all different kind of things, all different specific roles. We also have Counterculture Mom experts. Ken Ham joined forces with us. Josh Ox, who's in California. He's amazing with the apps. Why should we do the research if we got an expert doing it for 20 years? It's time to join forces, everybody. Mama Bear Apologetics. We have Biblical Sexuality. Laura Perry is fantastic. She was born a woman, went to a man for 8 years, even the surgeries, and now is a woman again. Praise the Lord, she's been freed from that. She is writing on those type of topics. This is huge, huge. We also have a blast up on our, so I was actually working out the first time in like a year, and I found my own alert coming up on my phone. I'm like, this is pretty cool. So we make sure people have it in their hands. We have partnered with the Tuttle Twins. We've partnered with the Creating a Masterpiece. So if you want your kids, if they're great in art, you can check out for a great hookup with Creating a Masterpiece, where it's online art instructors. My second kid down, I want to cry when I see the stuff that he paints. And I told him no for 10 years. I'm like, I don't want to mess on my carpet. The Lord's like, seriously, I gave him that talent. You'll be fine. Get a tarp. So I put a tarp up, got this program, talked to the head guy, and now we have a whole creative way. So if you have grandkids or children that love art, they will love this program. And you can get a discount if you go through our app and download it. Here is the Get Involved section, so we get off the bench in the game. And on the right-hand side, a bunch of neat places where you can get free service for a month to check it out first. To Circle Device is great. We got Covenant Eyes to help block pornography, Creating a Masterpiece. CrossFlix has thousands of positive entertainment options. It's just loaded. You'll have fun going and check that out. Last prayer request. We have a book writing team. God told me about 2 months ago when I was getting ready for the day. He's like, you're going to finally write your book. I said, no, I'm not. Got too much going on. And when I say God is talking to me, do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, I've never done a drug, okay? I'm not on any kind of medication. Like the Holy Spirit, when he tells you to do something and you start laughing and having a conversation with him, that's what happened. He said, you're writing a book. No, I'm not. You're getting it done now. Not happening. You're not writing it alone. Well, then who am I writing it with? Hello, I gave you a team. Oh, yeah, it's true. Who do you want on the team to write the book? I'll show you. So we went back and forth. We now have a team of 12 people, but I'm adding 2 or 3 more people in the mix. A 21-chapter book, Pop Culture Purge, how today's entertainment is, how do I put a byline? How today's entertainment is eroding the foundational development of youth, okay? The 21 chapters, I had a heart attack when I saw the top 21 issues that our teens are struggling with today and tweens is either caused by or glamorized by pop culture. And it's all a nasty web. So, and the people writing these crazy personal stories and then giving parenting tips and the red flags at the end of each chapter, it'll make a pin drop. I'm so excited. Now I'm actually going to get the book done because I'm not writing it. But I'm helping organize it. And then I was sitting at the table about a week ago, right before we took off for a 5-day book writing thing in the mountains with 4 of the writers to get the baby coming and birthing. And God's like, you're not thinking deep enough. I'm like, oh no, this is deep enough. It's a beast of a project. Nope. Close your eyes and look at it. I'm like, okay, I see a book. Okay, what comes with a book? Well, we do an autograph tour. Seriously? You're going to worry about signing your name in a book? Are you serious? That's what you want? I said, no, it's not what I want, but that's what comes with a book. This is like I'm talking to myself. It's funny. He said, think deeper. Close your eyes. So I closed my eyes. I'm like, okay. And he says, what do you see? I see a bunch of people coming to a pop culture purge tour where you break off into workshops like what we're doing here, and the parents go to the workshop where their kids are struggling, and then the people that are writing these chapters are talking about their workshops, about their personal stories, and then God's like, keep going. I have to have question and answer at the end of each. Yes, you do. And parents are going to be asking a lot of questions. You're going to be given a lot of solutions that I brain dump in your writer's team. You're not doing this anymore alone. You've been doing 20 years of tours for other people. I want you to take this to the masses right now. And if I could have your help, I will use it. Then he goes, go further. I said, well, I see the fact that it's a lot of no-name speakers that are speaking for the first time. He goes, that's exactly it. It doesn't have to be big-name people giving a speech. I want the people in the audience to know that they have a story to tell. It doesn't have to be a big-name speaker on the stage. Missy, you're going to be on that tour with me. I'm telling you, you're going to be sharing what you shared this morning. God's like, that is it. Indoctrination by education. Education, indoctrination. That's a chapter to our book. That's meant for you to share. That's your chapter and your speech. So God is bringing all these people together, and he goes, go one step further. I'm like, okay. How can you encourage the people in the crowd to know that they can share their story right off the bat by having them share their story? Correct. On the poster, he told me to put on there, do you have a story to tell? email us here. And then we'll pick specific people coming to each of those tour dates so they can get up from the crowd, come up on the stage and share their story, and their ministry will be birthed while on tour. That's what we have to be doing, these creative, wild, insane things. I'm way over, I'm sorry, 10 minutes over here, but go to the table. I have a ton of dirt. All the proceeds go to feed starving children, my 4 own at home. Actually, not a dime goes towards starving children. It goes all to the ministry, and then that pays for our staff and brings new people on like Joshua. So $60, grab a bag, have at it. Anyone's birthday in the house today? Anyone's birthday today? This week? Yeah. Come on up. When was your birthday? And yours is when? Okay, both of you guys get a bag. So here's one for you. Happy birthday. There we go. And then, ma'am in the polka dotted deal, come on. Oh, you're that Spitfire that was up earlier. You rock. Go grab a bag when we come out of here. Or bags for you as well. So that is $60. Grab it and then pray for our radio program. Salem offered us a $3.5 million market down in San Diego. It'll be repurposed on 8 TV platforms, 16 audio platforms, and we have 330 guests lined up ready to go for a call-in daily radio program, 26 minutes long. Be a part of that. Help. We got 2 sponsors. We need 2 more. $1,000 a month will get us the cash we need to be on the market on radio. And that's been a dream of mine for 20-some years. Let's have at it. If you want to donate to our cause, you can text donate to the number 55444. God's got a dream in all of us. Never give up. Think big thoughts. That way you know it's God and not you doing it. And let's get America back on track and save our kids. Thank you, guys.
Give it up for Tina Griffin. Woo! Thank you for watching the Northwest Safe Schools Summit. As you can see, attendees were informed, inspired, and motivated to take action. We partnered with several groups, including Quella Winery, Oregonians for Fair Elections, Western Liberty Network, Pacific Justice Institute, Building Education for Students Together, and KSLM Radio. We are happy you decided to learn more about the issues in K-12 public schools today. It just makes sense. Activism can be enjoyable when you are surrounded with like-minded people. And together, we win. We invite you to visit our website, parentsrightsined.org. Take a look around. There are issues pages just for our state chapters, because state laws are different. Join us. Make your voice heard. Is always best when you are with others. Submit the online chapter form. You will also be added to our email list. We help with training, information, branding, and contacts. Like us on Facebook. For the most current news, follow us, comment, and of course, share. Join a pre-Facebook group in your state or local school district. Subscribe to the podcasts, Parents' Rights Now. These are not meant to be entertaining, but provide valuable information, catching you up on the issues quickly. Would you like to help us? Our mission is possible. We've created a great program equipping parents and citizens with the tools they need to be effective in their local school districts. Join the 12 by 12 Club, our small monthly giving program. All donations are important and appreciated, but we know that you have expenses and family obligations, especially if you're a parent. You can do the most by giving a small amount every month. Just $12 a month will go towards our operational expenses and allow PRE to host another summit. Parents' Rights in Education is a tax-deductible 501c3 organization. Donate online or send a check to the address shown here. We are engaged in a war for the hearts and minds of our children. The left has taken control of the K-12 government school bureaucracy, using local public schools for distribution centers to change the culture. Their ultimate goal is to annihilate the constitutional republic of the United States by dismantling the nuclear family and destroying the Christian church. Your contributions are more necessary now than they have ever been.